Hey, what is up guys, welcome back to another Cities Skylines tutorial, and in this video you are going to learn 3 different ways to make a waterfall in your Cities Skylines map. The 3 different ways include a waterfall off the side of a mountain, a waterfall off the side of a cliff that's kind of a half waterfall, half lake here, and a waterfall coming out of an island. Each one of these waterfalls is unique and special in its own way, and each one has a different way of hiding the original water source so that it just seems like water is coming out of nowhere sometimes. Without further ado, let's get into the first waterfall right over here. The first thing you're going to need is a mountain. If you don't know how to make a mountain in Cities Skylines, whether it be on console or PC just using the terraforming options, then click on this video in the top right hand corner for a tutorial on how to do that. But once you do have the mountain you want to make a waterfall off of, clear all of the vegetation, rocks, and or trees that's in the area so that you can really get a sense of what you're doing. Then you're going to want to go down to the landscaping tab and use the landscaping tools such as the level terrain option, the softening terrain option, or the raise or lower land option to make a slope at the bottom of the mountain. This is going to be used for a smoother transition from the water to the ground with that kind of sloping effect that you can give the land right here. Then you're going to want to make sure that the sides of where the water is going to run off or close off so that water doesn't just end up going everywhere like I'm doing right here. And finally, you're going to dig out the land that you want the water to stream and run off to, so that it just goes down a continuous lane like it's a river, you know, like the waterfall is forming a river or something. Once you have the little man-made canal built right here, then you're ready to start putting in the water sources. Now you could use a water source mod on PC that I've seen some YouTubers do, or you could use the freshwater outlets if you're on console. This is probably the best way to do it, and it's how I'm going to be doing it right here since I am playing on Xbox One. Now you could have as many water sources here as you want. For the sake of this video, I'm just going to put 3 freshwater outlets here, but you could do as many as you want. It all depends on how much water you want flowing down the waterfall. Then connect the water outlets with piping and make sure that it's getting electricity from a nearby windmill or just run a power line to it. And you're ready to go. Put your game in 3 speed and let the water start flowing down. But we're not done just yet. You probably don't want the freshwater outlets just sticking out of the ground like that because it really doesn't look like a natural waterfall. To give it that natural waterfall feel, I recommend covering all of the water outlets with trees, alright, enough trees to make it so that the water outlets are just not visible at all, and it looks like water is coming out of nowhere, giving it that seamless, smooth waterfall look. You could add some decoration around to liven things up a bit, like trees, rocks, etc., but that's pretty much it. You're done with the first waterfall, as you can see right here. Now let's get into how to make the second waterfall. The second waterfall, which looks like a lake that has an opening off the side of a cliff, is actually quite simple. First up, you're going to excavate a relatively large piece of land off the side of a cliff that just has an opening going right off down towards whatever's at the bottom of the cliff. This process is very similar to how we made the lakes in a previous terraforming tutorial. After that, put some rocks on the sides of the outlet where it just leads off the cliff. This is going to be very important later on. Next up, you're going to dig out a line of land that does not include the edge of that cliff, just inside more towards the lake part, and you're going to dig that whole part lower like I'm doing right here, so it looks like there's kind of a raised piece of land in between where the leveled land is and the bottom of the lake. It's a bit confusing, but it should look just like this when you're finished. Then you're ready to add in the water sources just like last time. Again, this could be any type of water source, but I'm going to be using the freshwater outlets, and I'm going to put in around 7 or 6 of them. This is just going to make that continuous flow of water much greater and fill up the lake very, very quickly. Once the lake is starting to fill up and overflow that edge of land, you can start to build up in between the 2 rocks you placed earlier, then let the water continue to rise. And that's it. Water should start to flow down like a waterfall almost immediately. You could slope the edge to make the process a bit more seamless, but other than that, you're pretty much good. One thing that I did here was make use of those new rocks that can be placed in water and put them at the bottom of the waterfall so it kind of crashes that water and spreads it out towards the end. There you have it, the second type of waterfall you can implement into your city just to make things look pretty cool. You can also have some buildings around that lake part up above if you want more detail added to your city. This then brings us to our third and final waterfall, and it's probably my personal favorite just because I think it looks the coolest in the background of many cities. This is going to be the small island waterfall. If you don't have an island and a nearby water source, you can easily just lift one up from out of the water using the terraform options. Next up, you're going to want to make a raised plateau in the middle of that island and then dig out a hole in the center of that plateau like I've done right here. This is going to be where you put in your water source, alright? Your 2 freshwater outlets. Add piping to those and then connect it to a water pumping station and then you're good. You do have to worry about electricity, but I'll show you that a little later. Next, you're going to want to raise half of the land around the freshwater pumping stations so that the water flows out in the direction in front of it. Then make the whole area look a bit more natural by messing with the terraforming options to make it more like a natural slope up mountainy sort of thing instead of just a flat plateau. Next up, you're going to want to build a leveled area behind it where you could put a couple of windmills to supply electricity to the freshwater outlets. Now this can easily be hidden behind the whole structure if you do it like I do it right here, so that when you're looking at it from the side of your actual Cities Skylines map, you don't see the windmills at all. And that's it, water will be flowing right out of there with the freshwater outlets and the electricity source hidden completely. That's also it for this video, and if you want to learn how to create your own custom map on the Cities Skylines or PS4 edition, check out this video right here. If you want to see other map editing and terraforming tutorials, check out this Cities Skylines map editing playlist right here. Like, comment, and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you in the next one.